Hello, everyone. My name is Ashna, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hoptas, a quant research platform for investment crowdfunding. We're back with another episode of Beyond the Forum C, where we talk with founders of companies raising via crowdfunding. Today, we're talking with Brian of Envirobon, currently live on StartEngine. To start, can you share a quick intro about yourself and Envirobon?
Okay, Envirobon started as a company called Innovated Structures, because we wanted to make houses and buildings more energy efficient, and then it just got carried away from there. And so we decided to change the name of the company to Envirobon, which is environmental carbon, because we're friendly. Carbon is a negative word. It's kind of like burnt toast. And so we wanted a name nobody else had. It's a little bit different, but it's environmental carbon. Put the two words together. And so what's interesting is what sets us apart. Well, actually, what we do sets us apart because there's really no billion-dollar companies out there that have an inventor, an R&D team, let alone a team that figures out how to scale your product and take it to market. They don't have that. That's what they're missing. And so we are unlike anything else. And now that, I have a long history. I've designed 750 places that have been built. I got a degree in architecture and civil engineering. I've built 24 miles of roads for not for something to do, but it was kind of fun to learn how to run a dozer. They fired me. So what sets us apart clearly is we have patents, we have inventions, and we have a full-blown R&D team who just figures things out. And we actually own a pumpkin launcher in order to shoot 2x4s at 100 miles an hour. And so we're a full-blown R&D team.
Great. So my next question is, how does the team's background align with the company's vision, and why should investors have the confidence in their ability to execute the business plan?
Okay, so I can honestly say that we've had trouble in the past. All the way through COVID, you had to rely on other companies to build your equipment. And again, a very large company failed at being able to produce a piece of equipment that would make the product. They failed. And it was a $1.2 million learning expense that was super expensive. And so we kept on researching out in order to find people. And I ended up finding two very smart people in my backyard. One is R&D guy all the way, and the other guy has designed the majority of the equipment for BASF foam. BASF chemical, one-off equipment. So when I put the two of them together, then we figured out how to scale. And anybody that's big that wants to become a licensee, they don't want to make 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet a minute. They want to know, can you do 150 feet a minute? Yeah, we can do 150 feet a minute. So we keep perfecting the process, so a licensee is able to make money and we can make a royalty check. So
you said you have a couple of patents under your belt. How do you see these patents positioning Envirobon in the market, and what sets it apart from existing solutions?
Okay, so obviously I have patents in the past, but in Envirobon, I'm only going to talk about there's 3 products. I don't want to talk about any of the other ones because I don't want to pollute the show here. National home builders have always wanted a solution, an inexpensive solution, so that they didn't have to use foam on the outside of a house to make the energy code. And so we made an inexpensive solution, and then we went and filed not just a normal utility patent, we filed a process patent on how to make it in order to block everybody else out. That's extremely important to know. So we took a huge lane on the residential side because we're cheaper than what you can buy foam to put on the outside. We don't have the dew point challenges that foam has, and the builder gets to save the labor costs. So it's an inexpensive little solution that we can now know how to mass produce. And then the other solution is we took the first ever insulated metal stud for the commercial industrial arena. And the amount of money that this insulated stud saves on all commercial and industrial buildings is a lot of money. And we've already built prototypes. We've done preliminary testing. All we have left to do is the final round of testing, and then we're completely code compliant. But we're roughly 5 times stronger in wind load and 5 times stronger and axial compression. And so super strong, super energy efficient. And so it's pretty exciting to sit where I sit. And so yeah.
So could you highlight some key achievement or growth metrics that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, I'll give you a big one. So we rebranded under one roof called thermalstuds.com. And in 3 weeks, we have 10 million views on my videos, 10 million views as of today in 3 weeks. And one of them has 1.5 million views alone. And it was a simple, how to make a climatized pole barn. And because of that video, another company reached out, and I have a call next week with 5 of them, because they're interested. It's a whole new lane that they never even thought about. And when they saw 1.5 million views, the corporate, they just said, holy crap, all right, you got it figured out. We got to get involved. And I said, okay, well, write out a check and let's go. I'm simple. Anyway, so yes, we are, that's just one. We put a little ad out today, a 10% sale for Christmas, and 5 orders came in first thing this morning.
Oh, wow. That's
so
nice.
So we have no choice but to scale. We have no choice whatsoever. We've been told to scale by huge companies, and that's where we're at. We have to scale. And I know you're going to ask me like management style. I'll just skip right to that. When you're an inventor, you can invent, you can do sustainability, you can check all the boxes, but that doesn't mean that Brian needs. I have, like me in manufacturing, it's not like we don't get along. I just maybe a little bit too much of a bull in the china shop. So other people have to manufacture. We will still manufacture under Tanager, but we've been asked to scale at such a degree that we just could never. We're kidding ourselves if we think we can keep up.
So talking about scalability, how do you balance short-term profitability with long-term sustainability?
We're $100,000 away from being in the black. And so we're that close. I mean, it's not like we don't have any money invested into this before we started. And we have a very efficient team, but like our overhead right now is $105,000 a month. That's it. And so we, you sell $200,000 worth of product roughly, and you're bringing in 75,000 of that number. So we can almost, well, one of the things, part of the StartEngine thing is we have to build a continuous foaming line. Everybody wants to see the foaming line operate and how that works so that you can build in a continuous method. Well, that's already half built. And so 300,000 of the race finishes that. And we cut the labor rate like literally from 60 cents a foot to 10 cents a foot. But that's the R&D team side of things. Nobody else has that. You got to rely on everybody else in the world to go do it. And we just hired the people ourselves. In fact, we hired a retired master electrician to do all of the wiring for us. Hired him out of retirement. Said, "Come on, you got to work." And I have 2 short shareholders that come over and help out every day for something to do.
Wonderful. Looking forward, where do you envision Envirobon in the next 5 years?
That's a good question. We can't talk exit strategies here, but I plan on continuing to invent some things, and in changing the name from Innovated Structures, which kind of pigeonholed us into the housing building industry. I have a couple of other things that I'd like to go do in the future, but they're not in the housing industry. And so changing the name was more of a global vision. So I'm not really sure how, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see inside that crystal ball to say, aha, this is what's going to happen. But the idea is if you have one product, you have one leg on a stool. If you have 5 products, you got 5 legs on a stool. And so right now we want to build more legs, but you don't want to bring all 5 legs to the table all at the same time. That's mutiny. That's complete insanity. So slow and steady wins the race. Crawl, walk, and run, as they say.
So my next two questions are crowdfunding related. What led you to choose a crowdfunding route? And then how do you believe it will benefit both your company and the investors who support you?
Okay, so I've only raised capital from accredited investors in the past, and we had enough money to get going, but we have a lot of builders out there who are not accredited. And so because a lot of the people who've invested so far are builders, right? They're our followers, and they never get the opportunity to invest. And so that's what we did. We said, okay, we're going to do StartEngine, and we're going to go create a platform. You don't have to be accredited. Had to go through all the SEC kind of minutia in order to get there. So we're positioned in a spot where anybody and everybody can now invest. So that's why we did it. It just not every builder can qualify as an accredited investor. So
that gives everyone an opportunity. So what's your plan on keeping investors and stakeholders informed on the company's progress, challenges, and milestones?
Having 10 million views on the internet, we have quite the following. Now we went from 5,000 Instagram followers in 3 weeks to over 10,000, almost 11. And but you get 1.5 million views of some video. I can you still got to send out your quarterly reports, semi-annual reports. You have to do all those things. You got to act. You got to act in a certain way, in a certain manner. And so my board of directors people are very sharp, very astute. Both of them, one of them is a CFO of a $2 billion real estate investment trust, and the other one's chairman of the board of a $6 billion bank. And then there's me. And so we're all old. I'm the youngest one, 63, then it's 68 and 72. And so we don't have the appetite for debt at all, but zero. We're too old for this. We're just too old. So we allow more and more people to be able to invest and then just go ahead and sell equity, and let's get everybody involved.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining us today.
You're welcome.